What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another very important AMC update to bring all of you this afternoon. So what we're going to be covering in this update is a brief Ortex short interest and utilization analysis to give us a better understanding of the market for loanable shares and the potential for those forced share recalls that we saw back in June. Now, if you guys don't know, I don't think a lot of people realize this, that when the utilization starts to climb higher, it puts a lot of pressure on these lending institutions. And something that a lot of people don't know is that any of these lending institutions at any given time can recall the shares that they have loaned out, forcing a buy-in and making essentially the people they've loaned the shares to return them back to their original owners. So in addition to this, we're going to be going over the blatant market maker manipulation that we have seen over the last 2 trading days. It is very obvious what is going on right now, and this isn't something that should be happening in our markets. We are seeing some outside events and catalysts, some news circulating around that is causing the broad market to come down. But with where the price of AMC is headed right now going into the end of today, it's very obvious what these market makers are trying to do. We have Adam Aron additionally coming out and talking about NFTs. Now, a lot of people are trying to compare this to the possibility of AMC releasing an NFT crypto. So we're going to go over that situation as well, and the possibility of wide-scale liquidations that look to be coming in the near future. So before we get into all of that information, if you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And the more people that we have staying up to date on accurate AMC information, the stronger our community becomes. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. So at the current time that I am recording, it is almost power hour, and AMC is trading at $44.63. That $44 mark is going to be very important a little bit later in this video. Now, coming over to Ortex, we can see that the short interest has gone up a little bit today. We are currently sitting at 18.59%, but the utilization is still very low compared to where it was last week. We can see that 7 days ago, AMC's utilization was 91.44, and we were kind of bouncing around in that 90 to 93% range. Now, the most likely outcome of what's happening here is that not only are the shorts not returning their shares back to these lending institutions, we are seeing a decent amount of returned shares. But what most likely is happening is that these institutions are finding more shares to loan out. Some people that are getting into the AMC community may not know that they need to turn their share lending off if they don't want their shares to be used against them, because those shares can be loaned out, they can be sold into the market, create more selling volume, and push the share price of AMC lower. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with AMC's utilization. Hopefully we can get up close to those 95, 98, 99% numbers in the near future, but we also have recently seen the short interest hit an all-time high. Now, coming over to Stonko Tracker, we can see that going into the end of this week, there are only 53, almost 54,000 call options in the money. We almost had 200,000 contracts in the money at one point this week. Now, we also see that there are a lot more puts in the money at the current time too. 42,304. So what we are seeing here is the hedging and unhedging of options throughout the course of this week. Now, here's where this manipulation comes in, and we have to talk about the concept of max pain. So what max pain is a price in which the most amount of options, puts, and calls expire worthless. So it is not max pain to the institutions that are selling these options. It is essentially the max pain price for the options buyers. Now, most of the time, it's going to be retail investors, because those are going to be the individuals that are okay with taking that risk on these options. So we can see that for AMC, the max pain price for this week is $44 a share, meaning the most amount of options are going to expire worthless. When we look at where AMC is trading today, we're down 3%. We're at in the $44.60 range. And we are headed towards that max pain level. Now, at this point, it doesn't necessarily matter if we actually close directly at $44 a share. Below it, above it, doesn't really matter. But what we've seen is that since we had so many of these options in the money at one time for the calls, they've been unhedged, and the market makers no longer have to worry about individuals exercising their right. Now, when you sell options, especially call options, the max risk is unlimited. So it's one of the most risky things you can do in the market. We've seen the unhedging due to the selling volume, because when you see a bunch of those calls run in the money, they have to buy shares or offsetting call contracts to maintain that directionally neutral status. And when they no longer need those hedges on, they sell them back into the market, creating even more selling pressure. This is why gamma squeezes can work to the upside and the downside as well, because the calls can get unhedged for, the puts can run in the money, and the way to hedge the puts is you go out and directly short the stock, or you buy offsetting put contracts that then need to get hedged for through shorting. So it's that vicious cycle that we have been seeing. So here's the thing. I know there's been a conversation about whether or not people should be buying options, and the main thing it comes down to is you can do whatever you like with your money. The only thing that I would like to say to this is, if you have never traded options before, you need to really educate yourselves on how it works, how to trade, what type of trading strategies meet your risk tolerance, and not just go YOLOing on weekly options as a lottery ticket and hopefully make a bunch of money. Because if those options expire out of the money, they will be worthless, and you are going to be giving more liquidity to these institutions that are selling these options and could need that liquidity to maintain these over-leveraged short positions that they have on our favorite two stocks, AMC and GameStop. Now, let's get into this NFT situation with Adam Aron. So yesterday, Adam Aron did have an interview with CNBC. Now, what he did say in this interview is he is looking into getting into the crypto space a little bit more. We went over in yesterday's video how they were adding a couple of different coins that they are going to accept. But they did make a comment about NFTs, and a lot of people are getting excited about this for a very good reason. So here's the current situation. What Adam Aron said is that they're going to be planning on giving out NFTs as a sort of collectible item with ticket sales. Now, what this is going to do for the future, and why a lot of people are getting really excited about this, is it's going to set up the infrastructure for them to do these crypto transactions. Now, when we think about what the potential for what GameStop is doing, the squeeze catalyst that we saw for Overstock, if AMC is planning on releasing a crypto dividend over the next year, which Adam Aron has said that next year they will be able to offer a dividend, it basically handcuffs the shorts, because if you were to offer a dividend in that way, it is non-fungible, so every single one of them is unique, and if there are counterfeit shares out in the market, it is basically going to expose everything that has been going on with these two stocks. Now, is that going to happen? Nobody really knows at the current time, but we're just going to have to wait and see. But the fact that AMC is continually dipping their feet into this crypto space is just another very bullish thing, in my opinion. Now, the last thing that we need to go over in this update is sort of a broad market situation that has been going on over the last couple of weeks, and is one of the catalysts and reasons why the overall market has been starting to sell off. So this is a comment made by UBS about Evergrande. So we've gone over this concept in this company in the past, with what is exactly going on with this real estate property company over in China, but Evergrande credit event unavoidable, so we know it's going to happen. It could spill over into global markets. I would say that's very likely, depending on whether the the company restructures its debt or liquidates. Liquidation would be the most severe scenario. Now, when we think about this situation playing out, when Evergrande liquidates, it's going to cause significant losses to any of their other shareholders, stakeholders, whoever has an interest in Evergrande. Now, this is going to serve as sort of like a domino effect for the global economy. We could start to see the start of that major market event that we have been looking for and that are projecting to happen in Q4 of 2021. Now, there are a couple of different wild cards, such as the Fed and what they would be able to do to prevent such an event like this. But remember, this is just one event that could potentially play out. We have the debt ceiling, we have inflation, we have the real estate market in the United States starting to freak out a little bit. There are a lot of things that are brewing right now, and I want everybody to be fully prepared for what could be potentially going on in the near future. So that is really going to wrap up this update on AMC. If you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I'm trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.